Welcome back, students, to the course Natural Language Processing. I am Priyanka Gupta. I am working as Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Data Science Department at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. So, our today's topic is Natural Language Toolkit, NLTK Toolkit. I am going to cover about what is actually NLTK Toolkit is, the introduction of NLTK, how to do the installation, how to import the NLTK library, and how to import and list the corpora and download the corpora. So, what is actually Natural Language Toolkit is? NLTK is a standard Python library that is providing a set of diverse algorithms for natural language processing techniques. So basically, this toolkit is an advancement of the CLTK library, that is a classical toolkit. This toolkit actually is one of the most powerful NLP library, which is going to contain a package of to make the machine understand human language, and that is going to respond in the appropriate manner after that as a result. So this NLP library is going to help us to achieve more accurately when the machine can understand the human language and also interpret that human language. Then it is providing the easy to use interface that is over 50 corporas, 50 plus corporas will be available here, and that is going to support the lexical resources like WordNet. By using WordNet, actually we will be able to do the text processing, text pre-processing, and related text pre-processing library we can use, and then we can do we can apply the different methods to do the pre-processing. That is the classification. We can do classify the different text. We can do the tokenization. We can do the stemming. We can do tagging. We can do parsing and semantic reasoning, and also the wrappers for industrial strength related NLP libraries. And after these all, there is a facility act that is going to help us to just share our views if we are having any problem. So there is an open active forum there we can share our views and we can be benefited. So in this NLTK library, that is actually using the very basic interface that is going to help us to just do the text processing, and by the related library we can do able to apply all the methodology to just pre-process the text from the sentences and corpora, and there is also 50 plus corpora is available here, right? That NLTK has been called a wonderful tool for teaching and working in computational linguistic science using Python language. And also it will be is an amazing library to play with the natural languages. Installing NLTK. How to install NLTK library? So that is actually near about same as we have installed the CLTK library, that was the classical toolkit library. So actually that NLTK also requires the versions of Python, that is 3.7, 3.9 to 3.11. So any of the versions should be there in our computer system, operating system, and then we will able to do use the NLTK library and able to do the text processing. After that, we need to set a Python environment that basically I will tell about the Mac, Unix and Windows. So how to do that? We have to go on to the command prompt of the system, and we need to write the Python space dash version. Either we can write the on the command prompt pip space minus version. So that is two commands are there to just check what is the version of our Python. Then after that, we need to write pip space install space dash user dash pipenv. That is a pip environment. So here we need to just create a virtual environment. So to set the path to just use the different functionalities of the NLTK library. Now here what is pipenv? That is actually a dependency manager for the Python project. And if you are similar with the node.js, RPM, we can say NPM, and Ruby's bounder, so these are same like this dependency manager, that is pipenv. So that is similar in spirit to those tools. So like this, we can just install the Python, then we can just check the Python's version, and then we need to just set the proper path to just run the NLTK library functions. That pipenv actually going to manage the dependency on a per project basis. So actually it will be dependent on to the what type of processing we are doing, what type of project is there, what type of we can say model is there. So in that case, how to just set the pipenv, that is going to manage the dependencies. So install the packages, and we need to change our project directory also. So according to our directory path, where our directory has been just set, that proper path we have to give here to as a root directory. So what we need to do here, if we are having, suppose I am taking an empty directory here, and then I am going to tell you. So likewise that you students need to just install Python, then set the environment, and then we need to just set the proper directory path, whatever your project, whatever your application has been saved, whenever you want to just run all the dependencies, so that path you have to give here. Suppose my directory is empty, so what I will run, I have to go into them. So for doing that, I need to write on the command prompt cd space project underscore folder. So that is a folder name, the space where I am going to do all the where I'm going to write all the syntaxes. Then I will be going to be entering into this by writing cd, and then in the next line I have to write pipenv space install space request. So pip related all the environment dependency will be just going to be downloaded here, installed here, by writing these two lines on the command prompt of the Python. Now, if I'll segregate those in the Mac and Unix and Windows, so on the Mac and Unix, how to just install the NLTK library? First, I need to do, in the first step, I need to install NLTK. So what I need to write, students, you need to write on the command prompt run pip install. There will be space after each word, so that is nothing but the space, and then again space dash user, what is the username, and then dash capital U, that is also related to the different dependency, and then NLTK. So like that you need to just install the NLTK library. Now in the next line we have to write to install and NumPy library if it is needed for your project, if it needed for your model, NLP model. So if it is needed, then we need to write in the next line, very next line, run pip. Likewise same, why? Because we need to install, so everywhere we need to write pip. Pip will be used for to install the different dependencies, different libraries on the Unix or Mac system. So now on the next, what we need to do, right? Dash user, then space dash capital U and space NumPy. So that will be written on the either I can say in the Mac and Unix. So basically this is written in the Unix system, the Unix operating system. Now in the next step, I need to install, I need to test the however it has been just installed properly or not. So I need to test this installation. Then in the very next line, we need to write run Python. Okay, then run Python, and then it is going to be start something, and in the next very next line I need to write import NLTK when I need to start our code of program here, code of syntaxes here. So this is the very basic way to just install the NLTKs and their dependency and test the installation, and then we need to import the NLTK library also in the Unix and Mac systems. Now on the Windows side, Windows operating system, that is also the same dependency, we need to same things we need to just install, but on that first step will be the installing the Python 3.8 and whatever version you need to install according to your purpose. So it should be just installed properly. In the next step you need to install NumPy. So install NumPy we need to do. Then in the next step we need to install NLTK. So now we will install the NLTK library. Then we need to install, we need to test the installation, proper installation of these three. So now I will go into the start option, and then I need to go to the Python 3.8, and then I need to type on the command prompt of the Python 3.8 import NLTK. Then after writing this, the related NLTK library is going to be just imported. So likewise this we can do the installation of NLTK library. Now if I want to just install NLTK data is nothing but that is corpora from the different document, corpora of the different document that has been kept in the NLTK libraries. So there are 50 plus libraries as there in the NLTK library. So NLTK comes with the many corpora, toy grammars, trained models, etc. But we need to create a virtual environment first. For that I will going to write on the command prompt of the Python programming language mk virtual environment. So that is virtual environment, and then I will give a space, and then I will give the folder name. So our project folder name, whatever the path I need to give, the folder name I need to create here. So that will be set at the first step, at the basic step, and in the next time, whenever we are switching on our system, operating system, we don't need to set again and again. So that will be just set at the first time as a virtual environment. Then it is going to create the project folder inside the environment. So that is tilde /envs. So that will be created as a folder here. Now we need to work on the virtual environment. So we need to write on the command prompt of the Python work on space project folder. So by writing this, the related folder is going to be just activated. Now what is NLTK corpora is? NLTK actually has built-in support for dozens of corpora, that is a document, a number of document, and trained models. Then to use these corpora within the NLTK library, we recommend that you use the NLTK corpus downloader. So for using any of the corpus and corpora, we need to just activate that. We need to just we can say download those. So on the command prompt, we need to write nltk.download function. So by writing this, that is going to be initialize this function, and all the related corpora is going to be just downloaded. Note, you can just consult the readme file included with each corpus for further information. After writing this, actually a number of corpora is going to be listed, and these are in that also, if we need to just take one corpora, so we need to just call that corpora inside this function, and then by the function, if we will see in the folder of the we can say corpus, each of the corpus, there will be the readme file, that is a we can say information file of the that is a documentation file of the that proper use, means what the document is related to, what is that all about, which type of data is there, all the information will be there in the readme file. NLTK actually includes a diverse set of corpora which can be read by the nltk.corpus package. So each corpus is actually accessed by means of a corpus reader object. So whenever we need to just read the corpus, the individual corpus from the corpora, then the students, you need to just call the corpus reader object and from the nltk.corpus. So what we need to write, students, you need to write the import space nltk.corpus. So this line you need to just write to call the nltk.corpuses from this corpus reader. Each corpus reader provides a variety of methods to read the data from the corpus depending on the format of the corpus. So actually corpus is nothing that will be just kept by researchers in the NLTK library, and for what purpose we want to do, what type of corpus, what type of document, that will be actually related to the corpus only, the corpus type only. And then whenever we need to just import those, download those corpus, so the corpus reader need to understand which type of methods it should be applied there. So as a user, you students, you need to just check with the document type, corpus type, and then we as a user need to write the different methods to just call the different functionalities of the linguistic science, and then we can do the pre-processing on the corpus. Now, if I will talk about the plain text corpora, that is actually type of corpora. So that is actually, for example, plain text corpora support the methods to read the corpus as a raw text, as a list of words, as a list of sentences, as a list of paragraphs. So this is a basic corpora that a user can just create. That will be created by user. So some of the corpora is also available on the that NLTK library. So I will just call those, I will show you those, and then you will understand, and you are going to create your own plain text corpora also. So what is the way to just call those, how to read those? So you students, you need to write on the command prompt of the Python from space nltk.corpus space import space inaugural. Inaugural is a corpora that is plain text corpora. That is actually plain text corpora, and that should be called by writing this line from the NLTK corpus. So that is a basic line, basic syntax we need to write, and how it will be just again called, because this is corpora. The corpora is having a number of corpus in that. So that is going to show us many other corpus in this corpora. So corpora is nothing but that is a collection of different corpuses. So by writing this line, it is going to show all the corpus here, listing the corpuses, and then according to our need, whatever corpus we need to just call, we will do that. So in the very next line, we will write inaugural dot raw. In the bracket, in the function, we need to just call that corpus name. So there is in the single quote, a double quote, I will write that name. You will write that name. So 1789 dash Washington.txt. W is capital here. So that is the name of corpus. Whatever listed here, the same name should be written here in this double quotes or single quotes. So now by this function it will be called. So that now in the very next line it is going to give the output. So whatever will be here in this text file, text document, it is going to be so here in the output as output, right? So that was the how to just read the different corpora that is available, and also we can create in the if we will if a corpus contains a readme file, suppose with the corpus also there will be the documentation file, so it can be accessed with the readme method. So that is a readme function. By calling that, we can just read those. So how to do that? In the very next line we will write inaugural dot readme function, and with the with this bracket, square bracket, we need to write what are the different we can say text, what are the different letters we want. So colon 32 I will write, and that it is going to give the output according to the text file what has been written there. So that was the plain text corpora. Now there is another type of corpora available, that is tagged corpora. So in addition to the plain text corpora, we can say NLTK data package also contains wide variety of annotated corpora. So that is basically annotated corpora. So for example, if I'll say the brown corpus is annotated with the part of speech tags. So if basic corpus is there, brown, that has been introduced by the Brown University, some researchers has been made that corpora, and in that the brown corpus is there, and that suppose one corpus is there that has been tagged with the POS taggers, so part of speech tags, and that is going to define additional methods tagged underscore the asterisk and function. So by that, writing that, we can just call the different words and tag tuples. So which word as a word comma tag tuples rather than just bare word string. So that is going to give that result according to the whatever annotated part of a speech tags. Some tags are there, has been annotated there. So now in the next line we need to write from space nltk.corpus space import space brown. So now that brown corpus will be called, and in the next line we need to write print in the bracket function, we need to write brown dot words function. So that empty function I need to write. Then it is going to list all the related tags whatever there in this brown corpus. So that is going to give as a part of tags, part of speech tags. So now if I need to just check with the whatever tagged words are there, so what are tagged word actually, in that also some of the we can say grammars are there, means that can be tagged as a 2 words, that can be just made as a 3 words combination. So here the in this brown corpus, in the tagged corpora, if I'll write print brown dot tagged underscore words function inside the print function, so I will get the output as a the at in the one tuple that will be created, that again will be just kept as a 2 words in the one tuple, the at in the next line comma next Fulton NPTEL, like that that is a text corpora, and that is tagged tags are there. Now Indian language POS tagged corpus is there, that is a third type of corpus there in the corpora. So similarly, the Indian language POS tagged corpus includes samples of Indian text annotated with part of speech tags. So now I will show you the Indian corpus. In that I need to write from space nltk.corpus space import space Indian. Now the Indian corpus will be just downloaded here. Now in the next line I need to write print Indian dot words function with the print function. So now I will get whatever text has been written in that particular Indian corpus. So it will be going to be listed as an output here. Now in the next line, if I'll write print in print function, I will write Indian dot tagged underscore words function. So it is going to give all the tagged all the POS taggers along with their proper words. So that will be the printed output of this line, the print line with the tagged words corpus. Now the fourth type of corpora is chunked corpora, that is the con-al corpora also provides chunk structure. So chunk structure, it is going to make some of the words together, that is going to make we can say a tree, a structure, so that which are encoded as a flat trees. So basically the con LL 2000 corpus includes phrasal chunks, and the concal 2002 corpus includes the entity chunks. So this has been divided into the two varieties, that is two types of corpus is there here in this corpora, con LL 2000 and con LL 2002, and in that also the phrasal and entity chunks are there. Now in the next line, if I need to just call those, so I will write from space nltk.corpus space import space con LL in the small and 2000 comma con LL 2002. So if I need to just call these two together, it will be called, if I need to write one, so it will be called one only. So now in the next line, I need to print in the print function con LL 2000 dot sends function. So now it is going to give me all the chunked POS tags together. So confidence in the pound is widely, that is one chunk has been made by a number of tags together. Now in the next chunk, it will be going to give chancellor of the X secure, likewise this. So this is the output of this line when it will be called by the calling con LL 2000 corpus. Parsed corpora. So this is again next type of corpora. So the tree bank corpora provide a syntactic parse for each sentence. So there is a tree bank corpora actually as a parsed corpora that is going to provide us a syntactic parse for each of the sentences. So the NLTK data package, that is including a 10% sample of the pen tree bank, that is in tree bank. In tree bank, two types of data is there. So first is pen tree bank and second is Seneca tree bank. So in these two, actually that is going to give us the 10% data from these two. So how to just read that pen tree bank, that is actually related to the Wall Street Journal sample. So that is a document, Wall Street related document. And when I need to just import those, what I need to write? I need to write on the command prompt from space nltk.corpus space import space tree bank. So when I'll write this, in the next line, I need to just call this fields. So print function, I need to write in the command prompt print function treebank.fields. So fields function. So along with fields function, what are the other we can say packages are there, parsing are there, so that is going to just give us as a result here, as an output here. So these are listed here. Now in the next line, I need to just call the tree bank words, means particularly one tree bank words I need to just call. So in that I'll write print function. So in the print function, I will write tree bank dot words. In that function, I will write the whatever the words has been just listed before this slide. So that I'll write here, and that is going to give the related all output as a word of chunks here. So that is the tag, different tags has been just kept here as a just chunk. So that is a related output by this line. So now if you have access to a full installation of the pen tree bank, NLTK can be configured to load it as well. So basically that we have actually, that is a huge amount of document is here, huge amount of data is there in that. We cannot do as initially only we can download 10% of that. But if we want to just install all pen tree bank data, so what I need to do, I need to download the PTB package, that is pen tree bank. So that is package. Then I need to use the PDB module, that is instead of the tree bank. So where I have written in the earlier slide tree bank, I need to write PTB. So that it will be all downloaded at one place. So then in the next line on the command prompt, I need to write from nltk.corpus space import space PTB, that is pen tree bank. Now we can see the different fields on that. So different files are there that will be just named like this: brown cf01 .mrg. Like these are the different files are there in this. So now I need to just print those. If I need to write just see those, so I need to list those with the print function, print command. So print function, in that I will write ptb.field is function. So, that is going to list all the related document here by their names in the single quotes. Now there is one other type of corpora, that is categorized corpora. So several corpora included with the NLTK contain the document and that have been categorized for topic, genre and polarity. So basically that categorized corpora will be just listed as on the based on the subcategories, that it can be a topic, it can be a genre, it can be any polarity. So likewise that it will be kept here. So in addition to the standard corpus interface, each corpora is going to provide the access to the list of categories using the categories function method. So that from there how to just call those. So in the command prompt, I will write from space nltk.corpus space import space brown comma movie underscore reviews comma routers. So these three corpuses are there actually. These corpus are there. This is brown corpus, this is movie reviews corpus, and this is routers corpus. So if I need to call together at a one place, I will write like this. And but in the very next line, I need to just call the categories. So I will write in the next line, if I like to just call brown corpus related all the category documents, so I will write brown dot categories function. So then it is going to list all the related we can say categories by writing in the single quotes. So that is adventure related files are there, Bellis letters related, editorial, fiction, government, hobbies, news, religion. So these are few categories has been listed here. What type of data is there in this corpus. Now in the next line, if I need to just call the movie reviews files, movie reviews category document. So I need to just write movie underscore reviews dot categories function. So in the very next line, it is going to give the two type of files. So that is first type is negative, that for second type is positive. So two type of files are there, two type of documents are there. That first is going to give us the negative reviews, second is going to give the positive reviews for this movie reviews corpus. If I want to just call the routers related categories files documents, so I need to write routers.categories function. So that is going to list all the related document and categories here in this output. So you can see here that this is ACQ, LM, Barley, Bob, Carcass, Castor Oil, like this. These categories are there in this routers corpus. So like this, we can just call the categorized corpora here in the command prompt. Now, if I need to download the NLTK data, so how to just load those files? So first I need to load the data files. So resources are loaded using the function nltk.data.load function. So which takes as its first argument, right? So that is a first argument of this, and that is going to give a URL specifying what files should be loaded. In the next line, the NLTK protocol load files from the NLTK data distribution will be called. So how to just call those? So on the command prompt, I am going to write tokenization. I am going to create a object that is equal to, I am going to pass nltk.data.load function, and in function I am going to just write the proper path of this particular URL that is going to be just called, that is going to be just load as a data file. So here I need to write nltk colon tokenizers slash punkt, that is again a library space english.pickle. So like this, that this is a data file, that is a resource. The URL should be written here. Then in the very next line, I am going to write tokenizer.tokenize. In the function bracket, I will write with the single or double quotes, hello, this is a test, it works. So these three sentences will be written, and that is going to make a token out of that. So in the next line, I am going to get the output like as a token, hello, this is a test, it works. So these 3 tokens will be going to be printed here after this line, tokenizer dot tokenize line. Now I will talk about NLTK corpus reader. So corpus reader functions I will describe here. Each corpus module actually defines one or more corpus reader functions which can be used to read documents from the corpus or corpora, right? So these functions actually we have used also in some of the slides, some of the examples. So these functions take an argument item which is used to indicate which document should be read from the corpus. So there are 2 categories of that. If item is one of the unique identifier listed in the corpus, so that the module's item variable, then we need to corresponding document will be loaded from the NLTK corpus package. So that is the first type of use of item. If that is used as a unique identifier, then it is going to give the module's item, it is act as a module's item variable, and then it is going to give the related document. In the next type, if item is a file name, if we have described as a file name, if we has put as a file name, then that file will be just read by this function. So these 2 types of document we can read from the corpus reader function. Then NLTK corpus related functions are there. So what functions we can write in the bracket with the corpus reader. So additionally, corpus reader functions can be given list of items names. Corpus reader functions are named based on the type of information they return. Some common examples are there. So we have used also these, but here the basic functions has been written there for your understanding, students. So first is words function. So words function is going to give us the list of strings, list of str. In the next sense, so that is going to give a list and again function of list of structure. So by of this, right? Again parse. So that is parse function that is going to give the list of. So that is again for this. So like that it is actually we can say tagged functionality of these each interrelated to each other. Again, by the writing tagged underscore words function, we are going to list the list of str, and then in the form of tuple. So like that, these other functions we can use with the corpus readers. So some common examples are there, and their return types are tagged underscore sends as a function list of str, str. So if I need to just write tagged underscore parse function, then it will be called as a list of. I need to write list of. It need to call as a list of, then list of str and str function 2 times. Then chunked sends, that is again list of tree, w of str, then leaves. It is going to make a tree actually. Then like that, parse ascents are there, parsed paras are there. So that is again going to give us the different leaves of this tree. Then again, I can use XML function, that is a single XML element tree that is going to make a XML tree out of this function when we need to write with the NLTK corpus reader. Then in the next, when I'll use the raw function, that is going to give the unprocessed corpus element. So that we have used this also in the some examples earlier. So that was the NLTK corpus reader functions were there. So in that, if I need to write a brown corpus, if I need to read the brown corpus, and in that also I need to write some functionality, I will write the nltk.corpus brown words function. So that is going to give us the related all functionality with that, right? Now, by installing the NLTK data, I will need to write, I need to just call the NLTK package. So we need to install the necessary data sets or models for specific functions to work. If we are unsure of which data set and model we need, so we need to just call all of those. So you can install the popular subset of NLTK data on the command line type. So I need to type on the command prompt Python space minus m space nltk.downloader space popular. So that is a type of we can say data, NLTK data. So that is going to give us all common models at one place. Either I can write in the Python interpreter import space NLTK colon NLTK.download. In function, I will write popular in the double quotes or single quotes. So that is going to just read that popular data. Now I will describe about the NLP libraries. So some other libraries are there that is going to help us to achieve other functionalities in NLP processing. So that is first is scikit-learn. So it provides a wide range of algorithm for building machine learning models in Python language. So that is one type of library that is going to be widely used when we need to write the different algorithms in machine learning models. That is actually going to give us the algorithm, pre-made algorithm, pre-configured algorithm at one place. So we need to only call them and we need to just use those as according to our project and model. Then second is pattern. So it is actually web mining module that is going to use for the mining of the data that is actually related to the web for the NLP and machine learning projects. So that is again a second type of Python library there. Next is text block. So text block, here B is capital. So that is again a type of NLP library. It is going to provide an easy interface to learn basic NLP tasks. Like if you want to do the sentiment analysis on Twitter or Facebook or somewhere, either in the WhatsApp also, so we can do this. The data we can take from there and we need to pre-process all with the help of these text blob library with the help of these functions. So like sentiment analysis, noun phrase extraction and POS tagging. So these some functionality will be just used in this text blob library. There are some other libraries also there. QPy is used for the transforming natural language questions into the queries in a database query language. So that is widely used when we are working on the database query language, and that we need to transform in the query. So that is going to help us to achieve those things. And the other is SpyKai library. SpyKai library is an open source NLP library which is going to be used for data extraction, data analysis, sentiment analysis and text summarization. So these are the some uses, wide uses, that in that case we are going to just install SpyKai library as per our need. Then there is again GenSim library. GenSim library actually works with the larger data sets and also work for the data stream. So if we are having the live streaming data is there, or some video related data is there, so we can work with this library easily and we can pre-process those things at one place by using this in the Python languages, right? So that was all about the NLTK library. So I have discussed with you how to just install a NLTK library, how to download the NLTK corpora, how to just list the different corpora, how we can just use the different functionality in the corpus reader by using the corpus reader with the functions, how we can use other document also. That we have also seen some categories of the different document that is corpus in the corpora. So that was all about the today's topic. Thank you for watching. Welcome back, students. In the 1, 2, 3. Welcome back, students. In the course Natural Language Processing, I am Priyanka Gupta, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Data Science Department at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. So, I am going to discuss today, our topic is words in natural language processing. So, we have seen the corpora, different corporas are there. So, how to just read the different words from there, from the sentences will be there. So what is that actually in the NLP language? So I am going to talk about the switchboard corpus. I am going to tell about the utterance, what is utterance in the different sentences, what are the different disfluencies are there, what is lemma, what is word form, what is word type and word token, what are the different numbers of words will be used for a language in the sentence and paragraph. So these are the some basic functionalities I am going to discuss today. So I will talk about what is words actually. So before we talk about processing words, we need to decide what counts as a word. So I need to look at a one particular corpus, that is a plural corpora. So that is having the computer readable collection of text as also a speech. So this is one type of corpus is there. And for example, if I talk about brown corpus, the brown corpus is a million word collection of samples from 500 plus written English text from different genres. The genre is nothing but the categories we have seen in the earlier topics. So there will be the newspaper related data, there will be the fiction related data, non-fiction, academic, likewise this. And that will be assembled by the Brown University researchers. So that is one type of corpora. So in that corpus, in the corpus will be there. In that we need to just understand paragraph, sentences and words. Now, how many words are in the following Brown sentence? So I need to discuss about this one sentence is there. He stepped out into the hall, was delighted to encounter a water brother. So basically there is two sentences has been just added here in one as one sentence. That also having some of the words here as a we can say linguistic science. So it is having actually 13 words if punctuation marks are ignored. So if we will ignore these punctuations, these are the punctuations. So there are 13 words. So 15 if we count the punctuation. These are 2 if we will count, so that there will be the 15 words. So it depends on the task, treat, period, that is dot and comma and so on as a word. If we will just take comma and period as a word, then we can just distinguish on the task actually. So if we need to do the some other processing, we need to just consider those. If we do need to do the some other type of processing, we don't need to do. Likewise that it is depending on our task. Punctuation is for the finding boundaries of things, that commas, periods and colons. So that is going to give this these three type of punctuation is going to give us the finding boundaries. Punctuation is for the identifying some aspects of meaning, that is if question mark is there, questions is there, if question mark is there, so we can just decide it is a question and this sentence is related to question. If there is exclamation mark, so we need to understand that is actually about some example that it is related to happiness or something. If some people has achieved something. So if there is quotation marks, like those three things are there. So for some task, like if we are doing the PS tagging, we are doing the parsing, so we need punctuation marks as treated as a separate words. So I have said that the task will be depend on the how we are going to use those punctuations actually. So these are the some categories of words we can just read. Now I will talk about switchboard corpus. The switchboard corpus of the American English telephone conversation between the strangers was collected in the early 1990s. It is actually containing the 2430 conversations averaging 6 minutes each. So there are 2430 files are there. In that different people has done some conversation, and in that is of the 6 minute. That is actually maybe a audio file or video file. So that is totaling a 240 hours of speech and about 3 million words. That is having actually the speech files actually. The audio files are there. That is having the 240 hours duration, and that is having the 3 million word has been told there. That has been conversed there. The corpora of spoken word, don't have punctuation, but do introduce other complication with regard to defining words. So why? Because if somebody is talking to someone, if there is some pause, if there is some differences, if there is any boundary, we can just understand by the punctuation. If somebody is just speaking those things, so by the speaking style, that is going to be neglected by the users. So likewise that we need to just understand those complications, and we need to define the different functionalities for those. So that was speech word corpus that we are going to just discuss. Utterance. So utterance is nothing. The utterance is the actually spoken correlate of a sentence. So if I will write, suppose I'll give an example, then you will understand. I do dash mainly business data processing. So what it is going to give and main. So that is actually going to give some pause here, and that is actually we are going to pretend if it can be mainly, means what are the different variation can be there for the main. So likewise that we need to understand with this is called as a utterance, where the user is want to say something and that is not going to tell in the spoken words, right? So this utterance has two kinds of disfluencies. It is making some disfluencies actually. So first influence is the broken off word main dash is called as a fragment. So this part actually called as a fragment. Why? Because we cannot just interpret what the other word can be, the other connecting word can be. So that is called as a fragment. The words like and are called as a fillers. So this is a filled pauses. So this these are the fillers actually. So like this is the functionalities of utterance. So we should consider actually these to be a words. Again, it depends on the application. So basically, if the application, what type of application is there, what type of our need is, what type of words has been kept, if we need to consider that, in what scenario we need to consider, what context we need to just do that. So it depends on totally on the applications, right? So if we are building a speech transcription system, so we might have eventually stripe out the disfluencies. So if we are doing the transcription system, speech transcript, so we need to just avoid those. We need to just we can say exclude those disfluencies. So likewise that actually depend on our application and the use we are going to do. Disfluencies, we also sometimes keep disfluency around. Disfluency like and are actually helpful in speech recognition in predicting the upcoming word. So that is another type of use of these words. Sometimes depending on the application, it can be excluded, and sometimes that is going to give us the clues with these two words and that is going to give the some clues that again the some prediction is there can be another word, connecting word, upcoming word. So these disfluencies are also possible. Also we have to do care of, because they are signal that the speaker is restarting the clause or idea, and so for the speech recognition they are treating as a regular word. So if we are treating these as regular words, the speaker is needed to restart with the clause or idea, and then they are giving the signal actually there can be a upcoming word, that prediction can be there. So when we are going to just pre-process those, as a researcher, as a user, we need to understand those and we need to extract those as related to the application. Now lemma are capitalized word tokens are they, and uncapitalized tokens are THEY, small THEY. They are the same word. So in the actually sentences and paragraph, we need to understand what are those as a basic information, basic knowledge. So these are lumped together in some task, speech recognition, while for speech of part of a speech and named entity tagging, capitalization is a useful feature and that will be retained. So some other on the related to the task, it will be going to be just check. Sorry. One, two, three. Now lemma. So if I'll talk about THEY, here capital T is there and small THY. Suppose capital is there and small h. So are they similar? Are they are different? How to treat them when we are going to do the pre-processing in the Python language with with the NLP libraries? So actually these are lumped together in some tasks, like it will be related, it will be depend on the task actually. If we are doing the speech recognition, so it will be lumped together, while part of a speech or named entity tagging we are doing, the capitalization will be the useful feature and that will be retained. So that will be actually totally depend on the task we are doing. So how about influenced word forms like cats versus cat? If cats are there and we need to again categorize with the cats from the different paragraph and sentence, we need to do recognize if the NLTK library has to do, the related NLP library has to do what it could be. So these two words have the same lemma, cat. So here actually the base word is cat, and by the cat it has been just kept as just has been added as extra s. So but a different is only for the word form. So that is actually called as a word form. Word form, that we need to understand, that the system, the model is going to understand, right? A lemma is a set of lexical form having the same stems, majorly part of speech and the some word sense. So that is having the word part of speech and some sensing of the words together, right? So that is a lexical form of the language. Word form. Now what is word form? Basically the word form is a full inflected, we can say derived form of the word. So in that example we have seen there was written cats and there was written cat. So cat is actually the base word that is called as a lemma, and that is the full inflected and derived from the word. If I'll talk about this, so that is cat is derived from here, right? So for morphological complex languages like Arabic, we often need to deal with lemmatization. 1, 2, 3. So now I'll talk about word form. So if I'll talk about these two words again, cats and cat. So here, if I'll talk about cats, so I need to extract cat here, and s will be the extra word, right? So cat is nothing but the cat is a fully inflected and derived from the particular cat's word, right? So the word form is the full inflected and derived form of the word. By this example we can understand that will be used actually for the morphologically complex languages, like we can say Arabic language. In that we often need to deal with the lemmatization. So lemmatization is a task to deal with the inflection only. Inflection word we can derive and base word, and how the inflected word will be used further we have to understand as a basic. For many tasks in English, however, words form are a sufficient information. So likewise this we have seen that will be the sufficient form, because we cannot derive much many words much from this derived word. So likewise that we need to understand the word form. Now I need to talk about the word type and word token. So if I'll talk about how many words are there in English language, so to answer this question, you will say we need to distinguish two types of talking about words. That is what? Types are the number of distinct words in a corpus. If the set of words in the vocabulary is V, then the number of types of the vocabulary will be the size of V, right? Mod of V. That is we can say a mathematical function we can derive. So tokens are the total number of n of running words, and if we ignore the punctuation from the sentences, if we'll take only words as a we can say token, so the following brown sentence has given us 16 tokens and 14 types. So here one sentence is there: they picniced by the pool, comma, then lay back on the grass and looked at the stars. So this is the sentence has been given, and if we need to just differentiate what are the different tokens are there and what are the different types are there. So if I'll say about that, so number of type will be the vocabulary size, so that is the 14. And if I'll say about what is actually words are there in the vocabulary, that will be the total words, so that will be the 16 actually, 16. And if I will also take this punctuation, so that is going to give me 18 words, 18 tokens, right? So likewise that we can just understand how many words types are there, how many word tokens are there. Now, number of word in language, we can see if I will talk about some corpuses, some famous corpuses. So that is actually overview of this. So that figure is going to give us the different table is giving the different corpuses and what are the different tokens has been used there and what are the different vocabularies numbers are there. So if let's see if Shakespeare corpus is there, so there are actually 884,000 tokens are there, 884,000. Likewise these tokens, these many words are there without punctuation. Then if I'll talk about how many vocabulary, number of vocabulary is there, so I need to talk about that 31,000. That is actually 31,000. So that is a huge document. That is a large number of words and sentences are there in this corpus actually. Now if I'll talk about the brown corpus, there are 1 million tokens are there. 1 million. So 1 million. So you can understand how large these corporas are there. And if I'll talk about the vocabulary numbers, that is 38,000. 38,000. That is vocabulary. Now, if I'll talk about the switchboard corpora that we have talked about, that is actually audio files there, that is having the conversations, telephonic conversations. So that is having the 2.4 millions data, 2.4 millions tokens, 2.4 million. So that is a huge tokens are there. And again the 20,000 vocabulary is there, number of vocabulary is there. Now in the COCA, COCA corpus is there, in that 440 million tokens are there and 2 millions vocabulary is there. In the Google Ngrams, there are 1 trillion tokens are there and 13 millions vocabulary is there. So this is a rough number of we can say tokens and number of vocabulary from this English language corporas. So this actually in those all actually the Google corpus is having the largest number of tokens and words. So that is having the 13 million types. So, but this count only includes the typing appearing 40 times or more than times. So that can be a true number. It can be more than that also. So that why? Because that is a rough number here has been kept here. So that was all about today's topic. In that we have discussed about the NLTK library and related all the things together here. So that was all about today's topic. Thank you for watching.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.